back in the UFC, means a lot to me. At this time, actually, I feel like I'm prepared to be in the UFC. The first time, even though I thought at the back then I thought I was prepared, I wasn't really prepared. Like, I was just doing jiu-jitsu. I was training with the MMA team, but I wasn't doing MMA training myself. So at this time, I feel like, I was a totally different fighter, a totally different person. Like, I used to have like a different, priorities back then too. And now, it's all about me, like my fighting career and my family. I've watched a lot of tapes on Igor. Actually, UFC provided me few of his videos, actually all his UFC fights. So I had a lot of time to study his game, and I feel like I'm a horrible matchup for him. He's a good striker, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's as great as people think he is. And as for people they're saying that he hits hard, everybody hits hard at 205, at light heavyweight. So I'm not worried about his power. I've talked to Chael before this fight. As soon as UFC gave me an opponent, I talked to Chael. He gave me some advice, and not just that. While I was training with him, while I was training him for Anderson's fight, I learned a lot of things from him too. So I was trying to get Chael to go with me to Canada, but he has some issues. He cannot get in the country, so he's not going with me. But he gave me some advice, and I'm probably going to be putting those those things in the fight. There was some backlash training Chael for his fight against Anderson. I did have a lot of Brazilians, trying to bash me, saying that I was a traitor, that that I shouldn't be training Chael because he was being racist against Brazilians. First off, being Brazilian is not a race, so it's I don't know how can that be racist. But I had a lot of Brazilians bashing me on Twitter, on Facebook. Plus, that was not my first time training an American fighter to fight a Brazilian guy. I trained Sokoju when he fought. Actually, he's not American, but he was fighting for the States. So I trained Sokoju when he fought Arana in Pride. I trained Sokoju when he fought Livernog in Pride. I trained Dan Henderson when he fought Vanderlei, also for the title in Pride. And I've trained at Team Quest before, which is where Chael trains. So I never cared about what people were saying about me training with Chael. In plus, he wasn't just he just invited me to go against a Brazilian. He was paying, he was paying for a service. He asked me to go there to help him out, and he paid him for it. So why not go?
Heavy's don't go super fast, but nice to go real explosive on the way up, pop, right?
My strategy for this fight is pretty simple, since Igor is a striker, I plan on actually standing bang with him. Not really, but my strategy is actually to take him down. I don't keep secrets as for what I want to do in a fight. People know my background, they know what I do best, and I'm gonna keep trying to do what I do best. So there's no secret. I'm gonna try to take him down.
10 doubles, 20 singles. Throw your ball, you throw it back, and then slam, hold it back, dance around, and then explode up with it, okay?
Normally, I train 3 times a day on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which I usually start with conditioning training early in the morning. Early for me actually means 11 a.m. or sometimes 12, but that's early for me. But I do strength conditioning, then I do usually a one-on-one session with my Muay Thai trainer, and then I go grapple extreme culture, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I do twice a day. But it's usually it's pretty rough, especially when the last few weeks of a training camp. My diet usually goes pretty bad if I'm not in a training camp, my training as well. But if I'm in a training camp, I usually try to eat at least 6 times a day. I try to have breakfast, then I train, then I get something between breakfast and lunch, then I train again, then I try to get something between right after workout. So I would say that I eat 6 times a day if I'm in a training camp.